This issue of money and its tentacles around the altar. Who do they take it on behalf of?
Definitely on behalf of God.
Question number 2. Good answer. Question number 2.
On God's behalf.
On God's behalf.
Not on their behalf.
On God's behalf.
If they claim it on their behalf, no one will give.
Question number 2. Do we have a receipt that the money you have collected, Jesus has received it?
I would say all the best. The day you find the receipt, I'll be happy to also put my signature on it.
Okay. So there's no receipt?
There's no receipt for that.
Question number 3. When a woman loses a husband, God says, I am a husband to the widows.
Okay.
And I'm a father to the orphans. When we are collecting tithes and offerings, we say we're collecting it for God. Hear the question well.
Okay.
Then why do we deprive the woman, the widow, the money that belongs to her husband?
I'll go back to.
But you get the question.
I get it. I'll go back to Malachi.
Yes.
The most famous scripture ever.
Bring ye all the tithes and offerings.
In the church. Bring ye all the tithes and offerings.
So that?
So that there may be food in the storehouse.
Okay.
That's where I wanted to go to.
Yes.
Who has access to the storehouse according to the Levitical order? That's where we have to start. It's not the saints. It's not the children of God. It's not the members. Let me put it that way. The members do not have access to the storehouse. For the storehouse is kept by the Levites. Those are the ones who have got access to the storehouse. They collect tithes on behalf of God. So before we even talk about tithes, Bishop, let's begin to ask. Personally, I don't collect tithes. I used to back in the days, but then I stopped. I don't collect tithes. I do not collect a prophetic seed for this money, for this money,
you
for that.
Collect offerings, that's it.
If whatever that I say people must do, do it out of love. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Keyword is love. According to the New Testament, according to the New Covenant, you know, the grace dispensation, we do not give with a gun on our heads. We give out of love. So if you love God, you will give. If you love what you are, the message, if the message is changing your life, you will give.
Why are modern pastors finding it difficult to openly acknowledge that the tithes and offerings they're collecting, they are for themselves, rather than lie to say they are collecting it for the poor and the widows? But at the end of the day, when you pick up the balance sheet of how much money was collected this month, and how many people have eaten from the tithes and offerings, will you justify that we gave you 100,000, and out of the 100,000, I have actually distributed 80,000, 20,000 I paid for my rents and etc., so that I can also survive? Why is the modern pastor conflicted on sharing tithes and offerings according to the biblical text that says it's for the widows, the orphans, the strangers, and the musicians?
Greed.